Yeah, my name is Paul Ayodele Timileyin. As you've heard, um, just a little bit introduction and a little bit background of myself. Um, Currently, I'm an electrical engineer uh, as my day work. Um, then for my startups, I'm a software engineer. At the same time, do more of AI development and all. Um, I have a couple of my startups for software and other ones in embedded system. So I have quite a big knowledge of what we're about to talk about, right? Like you said, I got to involve myself in a lot of things, but today we'll just be talking on web development. Okay. So thank you everyone for having me, and I'm so glad to see beautiful and amazing people on this call. All right. All right, so I'm gonna share my screen just to, like I said, whatever I'm gonna be talking about today is just an overview, right? Not necessarily that's the whole context to it. I just want to give us a simple version of what web development entails. Um, what um, what is it about? What are the benefits? Um, what will you get from it? And what are the opportunities involved in this area, and what should be the expectation, all right? And of course, those are the major focus that I'll be discussing on today. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing my screen real quick. Um, all right. Please, can we all see my screen? Hello.
Yes, we see your screen.
All right, great. So today, just a title, just to call it something. If you, I know most of us, we might have checked on LinkedIn. You might have seen tech bros, tech guys, whatever you want to call them around the world. Um, these are major folks that are just in tech, right? But there's an aspect of tech that involves web development, mobile development, DevOps, cyber guys. All of them work together to build a system, right? But these guys are the one that kind of do majorly on web applications, website, both on internet and intranet within an organization, something that they want the whole outside individuals or outside users to be able to interface with. So these are the guys that we call web developers, right? So, but as a web developer, there are people that they call full stack, which I will talk more on that. There are individuals that they call front end developers, and there are individuals that they call back end developers. So, for me, I do both, but at the same time, it's not a must for you to do to call yourself both a back end or front end, which equivalents to a full stack developer. Some can just focus on front end, while you see other people that focus on back end. Okay, so I'm just going to talk a little bit about what's web development. Web development is literally what we all interface with every day, or when we go on the website, when we go on the internet, on a lot of things, like we go through things, right? Even your Google is a web application that we all search. Um, ChatGPT, I want to, what else do we have? Gemini, Cloud, different platform that I want to assume that most of us use every day. Reddit, LinkedIn, um, and some of these web applications also have the mobile interface, or the mobile versions, right? So just to give you a simple time, right? Web development is just the process of building a website and a web application that runs on internet or intranet. Intranet is within an organization network, right? So front-end development is literally what the users interface with. Like you and I, when we go to Google, where we click on, where we type in what is web development, um, how should I excel, how should I, a lot of questions. What we users, for me now, I'm a user, what we interface with. The guys that are responsible for that, they are the front end engineers, they are the front end developers, okay? It is more of building the UI, that's the user interface, and the UX, also the user experience. Whatever you experience on the website, however you're able to interact with the website, the guys responsible for that are the front-end engineers, right? Now, the back-end developers are the engineers that interact mostly with the logic behind the scene, right? You don't see them, you don't interact with them, right? You only see whatever that is going on. And I'm going to give you a quick example of don't be too stuff about it. Just take a look at something that I'm just gonna show. Nothing crazy. Just let me just show you something like something like this. So this is like an API system that is just showing one or two. This is just testing APIs and all. So when you hear the word API, application programming interface, those are what the backend guys do most of the time. I'm not saying that's all they do, but most of the time you see them interface with this kind of platform. And then when you say what's going on behind the scene, all right, these are the things that are going on behind the scene that you see a lot of whatever in the console, some errors and all. Those logics are interfacing with all that. That's what they are interfacing. But in real time, what you are interfacing with is probably Google, something like this, right? This is the UI. This is the front end. But the back end is whatever that is going on, the logics in the server and everything. How whatever you put in here is the server is being processed and being sent back to you, right? So that's what that is about. So I'm going back to my slide, right? I hope you understand. Like I said, this is just an overview, right? It's just to introduce you to what this is about. So, like backend, like I said the other time, it deals with the server, the database. The database, some of you might be familiar with SQL, Postgre, Firebase, and all that. There are a lot of databases out there that can be used for any kind of development and all. So also the logic behind authentication, registration, and all that, where they go to and where it's being fetched from, the backend engineers are the one that deal with that. Most of them don't care about how it looks, how the interface looks, and all. That's for the front end guys, right? So, but they both work hand in hand together to build a complete system. Now, for a full stack developer is a combination of both the front end and the back end. They have the knowledge of both. That means they can build a comprehensive system by themselves, single-handedly, right? And they can deliver a solution just from building the back end. Some of them are so talented that they even know more about UI UX, like the design, the concept of the system before anything. They do that. They do build the front end, build the back end, interface them together with the API or whatever means that most of them want to kind of build their system on. Right? A couple of tools that you'll be hearing more often by developers, web developers and all that. You'll be hearing React, you'll be hearing Node.js. These are just frameworks. Some of them are native and some of them are not. Some will be hearing PHP, some Java, and all that. Node.js is like a JavaScript kind of framework. React to a lot of them like that. Then the cloud services most of us are probably familiar with is probably Google, AWS, the one by Azure, like a lot of them like that. So those are cloud services where I know maybe the guys that deal most with that to work with more front end guys and back end guys and full stack guys is DevOps engineers, right? So I'm sure you probably hear more on that. So also, who is a full stack? Like I said earlier, is an individual that has the skills of a front end engineer and a back end engineer, a front end developer and a back end developer. So you can call yourself a full stack engineer if you know both. But if you know only one, then you can just say, for instance, you only build a part where users interface with, like the look, right? Then you're a front end engineer. Back end engineer, you interface only with the server side, logic, database, API, infrastructures, and all that. Then you can call yourself a back end engineer. Couple of skills that front-end engineer requires and the back-end engineer requires. Firstly, I'll talk about the front-end guys. Most of them are very familiar with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, TypeScript, Tailwind. Tailwind is a CSS framework. So there are a lot of tools out there that are not listed here, but yeah, those are major tools that you can use, right? For backend guys, most of them you hear them talking about MongoDB, Node.js, Python. So if you're a Python guy, you probably hear of the Django, Flask, and all that. Java, there's a lot of framework, like I said, depending on where you want to. You don't have to know all of them. You can just pick Node.js and SQL or whatever that you are comfortable with. Node.js, right, is JavaScript based. If you're opportune to learn that, it's very easy, straightforward. Python, some people will tell you it's even more easier. And I have friends that they even go all the way to do backend fully with Java. All of them have their advantage, their disadvantages. Some people don't see any disadvantage in it just because they are comfortable with it, right? So it depending on your choice, right? Uh, so now I want to talk about the front end and the back end, right? Front end, like I said, the focus on the design, the responsiveness of the design, how interactive it is. Now I'm going to show you an example as much time as I have. For instance, I'm going to go to, sorry guys. If you can, I hope you can see my screen. I'm going to go to Stripe, right? Um, so this is an interface for Stripe, right? Now, this is their web platform. And with this, if I want to see whether this platform is responsive or not, is either I view it on my mobile phone or I can also check it on my web, right? For instance, I have this and I'm seeing the way it looks. This is probably the way it's going to look on my mobile view. I'm talking about this now. If I put it on phone, oh, I want to see how it's going to look on a tablet, right? All I need to do is choose an iPad, let's say iPad Pro. Now I will be expecting something like this, right? So all these things differs. All these things differs as the responsiveness. So when I'm talking about responsiveness, these are what I'm talking about. It's the job of the front end guy to ensure that whatever I'm developing for user to interact with and interface with is what is responsive enough. We can talk more about this over and over. And a couple of tools that they use, they are very familiar with Figma because that's where they lift their UI and UX from. They talk more on the React. I'm using React more because personally I use that a lot. Um, Tailwind CSS is a very easy to use tool that most front end guys are familiar with. Some of them use React JS, some of them use TypeScript. TypeScript is amazing now. A lot of AI is out there. That's what most of them are built on. Vue, a lot of people use it as well. Angular, like there are a lot of them out there, like I said. And you could just take a look at some of these things and say, oh, this is cool. It makes your work easier. Like I said, this is an era of AI that most people don't have to depend on the traditional means of saying, oh, I have to learn every bit. It's important that you understand the basics, but there are a lot of tools now that can scale things to move faster. You can develop faster in minutes now compared to traditional way that will spend you like a week. Now, front end is on a different speed entirely. With AI, you are building interfaces with AI on high speed. Right now, you want changes, there are already AI agents that you can build as a front-end engineer, and your system that as feedback are coming in is updating the UI straight up. So, like I said, these are things that we can talk about more, but life is more easier for developers. So it's important that you know these skills, you know how to use these AI tools so that you don't get obsolete because these AI tools are coming in what's the job. Backend guys, like I said, also they handle logics, the database structure, the framework, the schematics, um, the how everything should be channeled, how data should be structured, how data should go into the database, how the response should come back, and all that. So, and of course, most of them are familiar with the Express.js, PostgreSQL, Firebase, Docker, AWS. As for most people that are building AI stuff like deploying AI agents and all, they probably do more with cloud systems and all that, building it on LLMs and hosting LLMs on those cloud services and all. So that's what you see backend engineer do more. Logic, data structure, database, server, and all that. That's what they deal with. We talk about hosting something. That's the job of the backend engineer majorly. For full stack developer, like I said, it embeds both the front end skill and the back end skill all in one. Can build a system from scratch by themselves single-handedly and finish it, right? They can interface with design, they can interface with the concept, anything from scratch, all right? Moving forward, just because of our time,
Yeah.
What are the career prospects? People will ask you, oh, why should I do backend? Why should I do front end? Why should I even be a full stack engineer? There are actually high demands out there. A lot of people will be scared that Google is releasing a lot of people from their job. There's a lot of downsizing. Trust me, in years to come, the downsizing will continue. But that doesn't mean that the skill will be obsolete or there won't be skills anymore, right? For instance, this is the era where AI is on a verge or is the future. That means there are new opportunities that are coming out, right? That means there are skills that are needed to build on those opportunities. So, like I said, don't build the skills because the skill is not enough to stay at the job because there will be better technology that can take you out if you stay on one spot. That means you having the skill and being able to take care of any opportunity that you're able to get your hands on is also important. You having the skill is you preparing yourself to be able to take those opportunities. Yeah. So like I said, when it comes to the career prospect is very versatile, is big, is you can start your own company if you know what you're doing. Like for myself, I have like two startups. I had to because I know how to build something, right? And I saw a problem, right? And I'm addressing the problem by my skills. At the same time, you can work for other people, you can freelance, you can work on different in different industries. Right now, healthcare industry needs a lot of developers, but it looks like everybody is running to fintech and all that. Uh, so, like I said, the skill is very important for you to be able to grab as many opportunities that are to come or that are already existing, right? So when it comes to career prospects, there's a lot. And a couple of roles that you'll be seeing out there, even startups needs developers that cannot afford senior developers or that cannot afford developers that are already in Adobe, that cannot afford developer in Google, that cannot afford developer in Stripe and all those big companies, yeah? Uh, your skill matters, is important. For most of us, some of us are probably already engineers, um, developers and all, but what about people that want to start this? You have to start from somewhere, yeah? There are a lot of startups that need people to start with that they can afford maybe on few thousands of dollars and all compared to guys that are demanding their neck, right? So everything is all like that. And for a couple of roles you'll be seeing, or you can call yourself when you have these skills, the software engineer, software developer, whatever the opportunity is, in as much you can use those tools that is listed in the job description. Call yourself anything. Call yourself software engineer, software AI engineer, if you can deploy it. In as much you know what you're doing and you can do whatever that is in job description and you meet all the requirements, you can change your name to whatever. You can call yourself a product engineer if you know you can handle that particular product. Some of them they call themselves growth product and growth, and there are a lot of names you can call yourself in as much you have that skill set. Like I said, you're not restricted to only call yourself a front-end engineer because you know how to do just UI. Call yourself any other things, right? You could be a freelancer and all. Salary. So I got some of these figures from Glassdoor, Indeed, couple of stuff out there that you could get some of this role. For most people that leave school to study computer science or software engineering, some of them happen to have entry level, and even some that have started from 100 level, not 100 level. In this country, they call it freshman. From freshman to sophomore, I don't know, junior, sophomore, and senior. However, people that I'm talking to, the kids that are studying here, probably they understand it better. I didn't do my undergrad here. I only came for grad. So, now from that year, if you can start learning all this from freshman year or from high school, for example, you're building your skill. You're building it. You're building it. Now, when you graduate in senior year, you can say you have 5 years of experience. Yes, just show what you've done. Have a nice Git repo that you can share, GitHub profile that you can share that, oh, you have track record, you can show your works, right? Trust me, you'll probably be able to go to a mid-level or a senior level um position. You don't necessarily need to start from level entry. But if the fact that you graduated BSc in computer science or computer engineering or software engineering or whatever, or AI engineering or AI artificial intelligence course does not mean you have to start from entry level, because all those experiences, internship, they really matter, right? Um, and a couple of places that you'll probably be hearing like they need people, a lot of startups, is because, for instance, Silicon Valley has a lot of startup because of the environment anyway. So most people that are school in that area, they don't lack job like people that are probably doing um I don't know, like northeast or something. I'm not saying there's restriction, because you can even work remotely. There's no restriction. Just know that you cannot do the barest minimum. You have to upscale your skill. You have to be extraordinary in whatever you do. Even the Bible says, whatever your hand find, do it well. Don't do it because you are settling to be a mediocre, but do it because you have to do it, and you have to do it well. Make sure that excellence is part of whatever you are trying to do, right? Um, yeah. So these are just figures that I believe all of us can see them. It can be more than this, but these are kind of range that I was able to kind of get from Glasgow Indeed and all that. And all. And remote job, you can have more than two jobs. You can have three, in as much you can handle it, and you can attend all the meeting at the same time. I tell people, in as much your schedule, probably for instance, for someone, you have a company that you're working for, the company is in California, you are living in Connecticut, you are like 3 hours. That means you probably have to wake up early or stay up late to do whichever job. And you have another job in the UK that they are paying you in pounds. You don't have to, it's the only job, it doesn't have to be in the US only. Like I said, you can be anywhere around the world. You can travel, you can go for vacation, you can do whatever you want anywhere you are in the world. Just make sure that it's in line with your company policy, that you can travel with your work computer. Um, Compliance, probably another person will talk about this. You just don't work from anywhere. VPN, there are blockers, there are a lot of things. Like I said, these are just work ethics that all of us we have to learn as engineers, because now you'll be working on a lot of infrastructure that's supposed to be secured, not just because, oh, I'm an engineer, I can work anywhere. Then you now think you can log in into the server or into their stuff from anywhere. Not necessarily so. So make sure that the ethics are things that you probably learn on the job and all that. My final thoughts as I round up uh, is a full stack developer, a developer in general, they are all problem solvers. We are problem solvers. You see a problem, can technology address this? Use it, solve it. Um, because full of logic, you're adapting not only engineering skills, but even your critical ability, your critical skill to think well, to be able to analyze a problem, to be able to reflect on those problems are highly important here. And of course, it's important for technology around the world to keep growing, because all these things, there are statistics to measure the number of people that are using Java, the number of people using React, the number of people. If you go, you see statistics, you see a lot of insights out there. So you are adding to the advancement of technology as you dive into this this role, this position, this skill set. All right. So future things, AI is evolving, DevOps is evolving, cloud development is evolving. There are a lot of serverless technology out there. We need to grow with it. We need to grow with it. And it's important that if you are to get the skills, get it now. Get it now. Don't wait. AI is, by the time we come in the next, by 2026, a lot of Sam Altman, there are a lot of projection that I'm like, okay, where are we? So you yourself, you need to keep up. If you learn it today, by December, make sure that you are checking yourself to ensure that you're not obsolete. So it's a very volatile environment to get into with the evolving technologies that are coming. Make sure that you are just up to date and you are ensuring that you are using the latest technology to make your work more effective and you are delivering in high speed because that's what most startup wants. Execution is important. Oh, I need these changes. Bam, you've done it. Nobody cares what you use. Can you do it? Is it secure? Is it safe? Is it reliable? That's almost founders or whatever product engineers we want to hear from. Is it reliable? Yes. Is it secure? Yes. You see those two things. If it's reliable, it's secure. And is it sustainable? Like, can you can you quickly?
Thank you.
Is it adaptable and all? Yeah. So
Thank you. Thank you
that's
very
that.
much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
very much,
Yeah.
Simile. Our time is up. Please, can you?
Thank you.
I can see people giving the e claps and the e smile. Really appreciate that. Thanks. That was a lot to unpack in the short time that you had.
Right.
Thank you very much.
you.
Please, we can unmute yourself if you have any questions. We'll be glad to take your questions as in for the next 2-3 minutes. But I think there are some questions in the turn. Or please feel free to unmute yourself if you have any questions. Okay, someone asked, is it possible to take 2 courses during the duration of the training? Pastor Yemi, with this spiritual discernment.
No, the issue is that have you even be able to deal with one?
Exactly. It's two jobs we say we can take, not 2 trainings.
So I have a question, Timile. So
All right,
you only talk about those who study computer. So what about us that we did not study computer or have any background in this field, like someone like me, a layman, that wanted to go into this? What would be your recommendation? And people are asking, how long will this training be? So if someone wants to be there, how long will it take? And do you think it's something that's just ordinary person like us that don't have that computer science background, can we do this?
Yeah. So thank you so much for that question, sir. I think I need to evaluate what I said. It's not only for computer science or you could, in fact, you can study agriculture wherever you are and still be able to adapt in tech. But one thing is in your interest. Your interest is what will determine whether you can do it or not. I have a very good friend of mine, which is should probably be talking today, which is studied chemical engineering, and now he's in DevOps engineering space. That's complete. Those are 2 complete different set of engineering, right? So you could be you could do finance, you could be in whatever, anywhere. It's a skill that is needed, and you don't need your degree to get a job. You don't need it's your work that will show, are you qualified? Do you have the experience? That's all. Nobody checked your undergraduate, whether you studied animal science. Nobody cares about that. It's your skill. So to answer that question, it's not for some set of people, it's for everybody, in as much you have the interest. Thank you.
So I have a clarification on that as well. So
okay,
you don't need your degree. Do you mean you don't have to have a degree or what you study in school?
Okay, you don't have let me I can still say that confidently because I have practical example. You don't need a degree, and you don't have to study it in school, but you must have experience for you to be able to show that realistically, right? You must be able to show that, okay, I've been in this space for a period of time. This is my work. Compared to someone that went to school, right? You must be able to compete. You must be able to show something. You cannot just say, I know how to develop something, and then you go to interview, they will ask you question, you cannot answer. So make sure that you're able to meet up to whatever stuff is being asked. So you don't need a degree. I have 2 engineers on my team right now. One of them did not even have high school. Yeah, and he's extremely smart. He's good. I can recommend him to Google to go and work anywhere. Right. So that's how good he is, right? And the kind of experience he has over 10 years of experience because he has been doing it from high school. Just that he was not opportune to go to college or to finish WAEC in Nigeria and all that. So, like I said, he doesn't need the degree for him to be hired, and he has a lot of even qualification more than anyone that have gone to school, right? He trains people too. People that have gone to college, he's training them, right? So you don't need a particular degree to be able to survive in this space.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Thank you. Thank you very much, Timileyin. I think you nailed it.
I think there's one question that I've not answered is how long?
Okay, yeah, how long?
I won't put a particular time frame to it that, oh, you're going to be an amazing developer in 2 months or in 8 weeks or in 12 weeks. I won't be able to answer that specifically because most of it is about you following instruction and you doing your extra assignment. Like I said,
I think the question is, how long is this training? As in the training?
About 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, about 6 to 8 weeks. If I should answer that. But and I know Puzzle will tell us more about that and communicate more on that to us. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Pelumi. Thank you.